Welcome to Faith and Freedom. For the next few minutes, we hope to inform, inspire, and encourage you as we discuss the legal victories and challenges to your fundamental freedoms and religious liberties. Faith and Freedom comes to you from Liberty Counsel, a civil liberties education and legal defense organization. Join us now as Matt Staver, the President and General Counsel of Liberty Counsel, explains the latest legal issues all across this country in the courtrooms of America. Liberty Counsel is winning the battle for your constitutional freedoms.
Alfred Kinsey has perpetrated a significant fraud on the American people, indeed around the world. We're going to be talking about it today on Faith and Freedom. I'm Matt Staver, founder and chairman of Liberty Counsel and dean of Liberty University School of Law. Joining me is Matt Barber, who is the vice president of Liberty Counsel Action and also associate dean of the law school. Matt, you've actually taught in your class at Liberty University School of Law from Dr. Judith Reisman's book. And one of her most recent books is called Sexual Sabotage. She is the foremost expert on the fraud that Alfred Kinsey perpetrated in the late 1940s and early 1950s with regards to this sexual surveys and literally using children, abusing them as part of his so-called research.
Alfred Kinsey was a moral relativist, somebody who set out with a goal to destroy, as his stated goal, to destroy the Judeo-Christian ethic. He did it under the guise of science. He had certain desired outcomes that he hoped to achieve. He skewed the facts, skewed the numbers, and just perpetrated flat-out fraud in order to achieve this meme across the country that academia and liberals and every major institution have embraced. It basically says that children from the moment they're born are sexual beings, that it's perfectly appropriate for children, for instance, to have sexual relations with adults, homosexual relations, and so forth. And Kinsey even partnered with pedophiles in nursery schools and across the country to gather information as they were sexually assaulting small children as young as just months old. He took this information and conspired with these pedophiles in order to create the Table 34 of the Kinsey research that he did, the two published volumes. Sex in the human male and sex in the human female. He took that information and actually was complicit in child abuse as he perpetrated this fraud.
He really has been profoundly effective in terms of his fraud, because it really spawned the whole sexual revolution. And it also gave birth to and a platform for magazines such as Playboy, Penthouse, and Hustler, all of it based upon fraud. And as you mentioned in Table 34, he actually used children, and we can't even begin to describe what he did to the children, but it's right there in Table 34 in terms of what he did to these children as part of his research. Some of his subjects were prostitutes, some of those were pedophiles. They knowingly used people that would abuse children, rape children, and also women as well. And they used them as part of their sexual survey. And then they pushed this out to the American public as though this was the common practice of everyone. So it made those individuals reading it and the newspapers that pulled it up and propagated this fraud without looking at whether it was even valid, it made them think that they were odd, that they were not part of what everyone else was involved in, and that is these deviant sexual activities. And it really, today, if his stuff was going to be coming out, and even back then, it should have been analyzed to determine whether or not it was actually valid. It was completely invalid. And yet Indiana University, through the Kinsey Institute, continues to perpetrate this fraud. In fact, ironically, it is that university that's now trying to boot out Chick-fil-A because they donated food to a pro-marriage event.
Yeah, and that's the real crime here. There's pre-Kinsey and there's post-Kinsey in terms of how America and really how the world views human sexuality. The pre-Kinsey model, of course, was in keeping with the Judeo-Christian model that sex is appropriate within the bonds of marriage between a man and a woman. Kinsey wanted to do away with that. So now we have the post-Kinsey model, which is even today is pushed by the Kinsey Institute and every major liberal academic institution across the country. So it's really an uphill battle, and as you point out, it's completely rooted in fraud. I have challenged the president of the Kinsey Institute to an open debate. She's declined, so they don't want public airing and vetting of this fraudulent information. So it's really no surprise, for instance, at the University of Indiana, as you point out, that they are now trying to kick Chick-fil-A off of their campus because they are embracing evil. They're embracing sexual relativism, really sexual anarchy, anything goes. And anybody who stands for traditional pre-Kinsey sexuality is considered the bad guy. So they're being Chick-fil-A, which has helped sponsor some marriage events and has helped with some of their corporate assets to help try to protect the institution of marriage. Now they are in the crosshairs of the Kinsey Institute and other liberal universities across the country.
Well, you can give us a call at 1-800-671-1776 or go to Liberty Counsel's website at lc.org. There's a couple of things that we'd like for you to do. First of all, we can make Dr. Judith Reisman's new book available to you. It is a book that is an amazing read. It'll actually make you upset as you read it. I read it and I was just amazed at what impact Kinsey has had on the world with regards to the entire sexual revolution and the tremendous damage that he has done. But you need to know what is behind some of these stats and figures and some of these movements. It really is an eye-opening book. It's called Sexual Sabotage by Dr. Judith Reisman, and we will provide that to you at Liberty Counsel for a contribution of $30. You can go to lc.org or call 800-671-1776. And also today, around the world, is the Day of Purity. The Day of Purity is a day to celebrate sexual purity, to be pure in heart and mind and spirit. And it's not just for youth, it's for others as well, but it's to maintain purity and to begin that line of purity if you have fallen, made mistakes. To begin today is the very first day that you can begin that commitment. There's Purity Pledge cards that you can sign. We have them on the website at dayofpurity.org. There's also wristbands. There's other kinds of material as well. You can organize these in your home, in your church, in your school. And now it is growing rapidly around the world as well. You can call 1-800-671-1776 for more information and ask for Amber Haskew, who is our Day of Purity International Director. And she has been putting a lot of time into this, so go to dayofpurity.org, where a lot of information is available, statistics and so forth, that you can share, educate, and also make that purity pledge.
The people need to become equipped in order to stand up and argue a position. We have the facts. We're right morally. Our position is in keeping with God's design for human sexuality, and we're right factually, period. And, Amber has done just a marvelous job of taking the reins on the Day of Purity and has really promoted this. It has become really a major international event, and it's gathering steam, and it's so exciting to see when we're, again, as I say, swimming upstream against this torrent of sexual anarchy and sexual relativism that our kids are being taught through comprehensive sex education groups like Planned Parenthood that fund and support all form of sexual deviancy and are constantly pushing a culture of death. We are providing the facts on the pre-Kinsey, post-Kinsey models to show that since Kinsey's research came out, for instance, sexually transmitted diseases in this country have just absolutely skyrocketed, to show that teenage pregnancy has gone through the roof. And there is definitely a causal effect here. Kinsey's research and the propaganda, really, research isn't even an appropriate term, has really brought this nation to its knees in terms of sexual immorality. And the Day of Purity, it's so exciting to see young people and people across the country getting on board with trying to take our country back for traditional Judeo-Christian values.
Well, the CDC reports that 19 million new cases of STDs are reported each year in the United States, and many of those are among teens and youth. So there's a lot of statistics that you can get on why it's right and why it's good and it's best for you and best for our country, best for our communities to have this commitment of purity. You can go to dayofpurity.org for more information, learn more about how you can have a Day of Purity event in your community. And even though you may be hearing this and the day's partly over, you can still make that Day of Purity commitment and pledge. You may be able to begin planning for next year, because this is on Valentine's Day every year. The dayofpurity.org is the website to go to. That's dayofpurity.org. Also, visit our website at lc.org or call 800-671-1776 and ask for Dr. Judith Reisman's book. It's called Sexual Sabotage. It's her most recent book. She is by far the foremost expert in the country on Alfred Kinsey and the Kinsey Institute and the fraud that he has perpetrated around the world. Ask for Sexual Sabotage. You can order it at lc.org.
You have been listening to Matt Staver of Liberty Counsel. Our hope is to encourage and inspire you to stand up for your faith, family, and freedoms. We can accomplish a lot when we work together. Get informed and get involved today. Sign up for our free monthly newsletter, The Liberator. We will send it out to you free of charge. Stay informed with our Liberty Alert email update. Just click on the website at www.lc.org or call us at 1-800-671-1776. Tune in next time to learn more about your rights right here on Faith and Freedom.